Hey folks, it's Egwin from Scope of Life and Beyond Systems, this time with another progression in our Developmental Movement series. If you don't know yet what it is, please go back to my channel, check it out, or check the link below in the description or at the end of this video to get more updates on this whole series. In a nutshell, what it is, we are working with very fundamental and basic movement patterns that each and every one of us at some point in his or her life learned, namely as a baby. And those very fundamental coordinational and strength building movement patterns, they are really the foundation of everything that we do and learn in terms of movement later on, whether it's walking, standing, surfing, whatever you're talking about. Now, if we do those very fundamental patterns as an adult, we can literally start to reset our system to those fundamental coordinational basic principles. We can also retrain our system to coordinate itself around those very fundamental principles. Why is this helpful? Because most people at some point in their development start copying patterns from their parents, from their social surroundings, friends, family, other people they have to do a lot with, and so on and so on. And not all of those patterns are really very efficient. Now, when you reset your structure, your whole body, back to a state of movement development, then you have a good chance of actually repairing some of the less efficient patterns in your body. And this is why we're doing this developmental movement series right now. Today we're talking about crawling. Keep in mind, there are many different variations and possible progressions for all of these different movement patterns. Like if you watch 10 babies, how they actually learn walking, how they learn crawling, how they learn rolling, you'll see they all use different approaches. Like the basic pattern is the same. We can call that rolling from your belly to your back. The basic pattern is, you can call this crawling. But the tiny stages in between that a specific baby needs in order to develop the strength and coordination to be able to do a certain pattern, that's completely different. We as an adult, we can consciously use a variation of different patterns in order to train our body in a more holistic way. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Still, I obviously can't show thousands of progressions here, so I'm showing just some very fundamental ones. Today, as mentioned, we're talking about crawling, so let's just jump right into it. This time I suggest we use a mat for the simple reason of it being a little bit more comfortable on your knees, or if you have a softer surface, if you're doing it ideally somewhere outdoors as soon as the snow is gone, that's obviously ideal to just do it somewhere in the grass, or to do it somewhere on the beach or something like that. That's ideal. Then you don't need a mattress. That's literally just protection from a very hard surface. Alright, today I'm going to jump right into crawling instead of doing a rolling pattern before that. And what we're going to do is, we're going to start in a position that looks something like that. I say something like that, again, here are many different progressions possible. You can have the legs further apart, like so. You can have the legs somewhere like this. We can have them closer together. We can either still sit somewhere back here or much further in front. So there are many different variations possible. One very important thing here, if you have struggle with your wrists, so if it's painful for you to place your wrists here and put weight in it, then use, for instance, something as simple as a package of tissues, just something that you place underneath your palm, underneath literally here the lower part, the foundation part of your palm, so that your palm is just a little bit lifted off the ground. This instantly changes the angle in your wrist, makes it more comfortable if you have issues in your wrist to put weight on. Alright, if that's not the case, then we start in a position like so, and we simply start by moving one leg, moving one arm, moving another arm, moving another leg. So we are using a not really very structured pattern. So we are not using anything like left hand and right leg and right hand and left leg or something like that. So we are really just using one extremity at a time. So from this position, again, we are using, say, the left arm, right leg, right hand, left foot, left hand, right leg, right hand, left foot, or something similar. Whatever really comes to your mind, whatever feels right for you, whatever pattern feels right for you. But at the beginning, that's the most important thing, just one extremity at a time, not two at the same time. That's just how we start this exercise. We can increase the difficulty of this exercise incredibly by simply increasing the distance between our knees and our hands. So if my knees are further back, obviously my thighs are angled towards the ground, not really 90 degrees down, but much more angled towards the ground. And my arms are somewhere out front here. Again, I can play. Are my hands further out in front, or are my hands really underneath my shoulders, or my head almost pulling out to the front? Now, in this position, gravity is already pulling me towards the front and a little bit down, but this also helps me with forward drive. Again, for some people it might be painful in the knees. Use a thicker mattress, do it in your bed, something like that, all goes. The only thing that's important here is really to understand one of the things that the baby wants in this position is literally to move from A to B. So normally a baby wouldn't choose a position like that, because this is literally trying just to block your way to the front. You'll always see they use their weight in a way that the weight already falls towards the direction where they want to go. If they are at the very, very beginning of crawling, then sometimes the hands are all over the place. Sometimes the hands are also more angled towards the front just to stabilize themselves. But as soon as they have more strength in their arms and in their shoulders, they'll use something like this. So a pattern where the arms are much closer underneath the shoulders and you actually use the weight for walking, or in this case, crawling forward. And that's exactly what we want to do here. Another tiny aspect that we're going to try out right now is, so this already engages the core, obviously, and by just always using one extremity at a time, for an adult, that seems like extremely low intensity, because I'd say that 90% of all adults in this position can take one extremity and lift it off the ground. For most adults it gets a little bit more difficult when you say, okay, now try to lift two extremities at the same time. But the thing is this, think about it, we're talking about developmental movement. At the beginning, rolling was hard. Right now, it's really about developing the quadrants in your body and quadrant stability in your body, which is exactly what we do with the exercise, where just one extremity is placed to the front and the other ones follow afterwards. Another aspect that we do right now is the following. Simply looks like that. From this position, just lift one leg and try to lift the hand of the same side just for a fraction of a second. You lift the left leg, first lift the leg, then you lift the hand and place it back down. You lift the leg, you lift the hand and back down. You lift the leg, you lift the hand and back down. Just start with such short intervals. And then we go further and further. Alright, so that's the crawling pattern for today. Just if you have any questions or anything that you would like to know, comment down below and I'll make sure to answer it. Other than that, have a wonderful time trying out and developing those quadrants. And yeah, see you soon. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so. And if you want to stay up to date, then subscribe and like, share. And thanks for watching. Have a wonderful time. See you soon. Bye.